We have Mr. Subramanian Sivakumar, Chairman, CEO and Digital Innovation Expert from Prussian Technologies, India. We would like to invite Mr. Subramaniam to share with us about the talent cloud for the post-digital era. Let us welcome him online.
Hey, good morning all.
Morning.
I hope you can all see my video, and perhaps I'll share a small presentation too. So let me know if you can all see the screen, my presentation.
All clear, Mr. Subra.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So good morning to folks here in Malaysia. So we have beautiful weather here today in Bangalore. I'm calling from Bangalore. I stay in a place called Whitefield in Bangalore, and the place where I live in around 8 square kilometers or 6 square miles, we have close to 400,000 professionals working here. And we call this place as the real Silicon Valley, or the next Silicon Valley of the world. And I also see Andy from the other side, the other Silicon Valley from the Bay Area, who has joined us. So a warm greeting to Andy too. So I'm pretty happy to be a part of the BEYOND4 ecosystem. I've known Ruben for the last few years now. His energy and his passion for transforming the talent in Malaysia is inspiring and infectious. So we are building together what we call as the Talent Cloud 2025, a talent cloud where you can pick top talent and deploy them globally. So companies seeking top talent can go to the talent cloud, identify talent based on their needs, and then they can engage them. So this is a fairly ambitious project. We are building this ecosystem globally, and we're very happy to find great talent in Malaysia. So just a small thing, how we are approaching the talent cloud. So today we officially call ourselves as living in the post-digital era. So there was a time when things were about to turn digital, and many people say that the iPhone initiated the digital era. That's when the whole focus moved from merely software to something which is more tangible as hardware driven. With the iPhone, with the other devices coming in, and then the new age technology of hardware setting in, with the cloud coming in. And today we have so many IoT devices. Every single house has some kind of an IoT device. They're all interconnected. Everything is on the cloud. So we have entered the digital era. And in the last 15 years, this magical transformation has happened. We have done a lot of what we call as the digital transformation. Now, what are we looking at? We are now in the post-digital era, which does not mean that the digital era has come to an end. It means the digital era is for granted. Now we are looking at how to consume this information that all the devices are producing and how to process the data using artificial intelligence. So some of our systems are still in the digital era. Our learning systems are still addressing the digital era. Some of our learning systems are in the pre-digital era, which obviously means the gap between what happened and what existed in say 2004, before the iPhone, and what we have today is phenomenal. Technology has just grown exponentially. So we are looking at identifying talent and looking at 2025 and creating the talent cloud for 2025, or what we call as the talent for the post-digital era. Ruben's is to take Malaysia into high-end innovation. So we are looking at crafting the digital future together. And a few things that I would like to share. In general, our experiences working with different IT majors. So we have been fortunate to work with some of the largest Fortune 500 companies. We have upskilled people in companies like Microsoft, Oracle, Siemens, Intel, Amadeus, and our experience of having skilled over 60,000 folks globally at all levels has taught us a few things that I would like to share. So the 4 things that we have learned from our clients, among many things, I just want to limit this to 4 things, are I see every single team which is pursuing innovation is absolutely determined, which means innovation teams don't simply have problem tellers, they have problem solvers. They redefine the statements as the problem to solve is this, rather than this is a problem. And that determination to achieve results, the determination to solve problems has been outstanding. I've learned a lot from this working with folks at Microsoft or GE Healthcare or Intel or Novel. The second thing I have learned is creativity is a very, very critical skill. Unless people are creative, you don't find different ways of solving the problem. So mostly we head and think we are into dead end because of perhaps we're not applying the ample creativity each one of us have here. So I remember the good old days in 2000, one of my engagements at Intel, where one of the engineering team had to crack 160,000 instruction set in a relatively older architecture. So we call this as Pentium 3. So most of them might not have seen the Pentium 3, although it's not too old. On a Pentium 3, we had to process 160K instruction set and do a lot of computation and produce results. So in this engagement I was called for, the entire processing was done in 15 seconds, which was mind-blowing. The whole thing had to be optimized under 3 seconds. So the kind of creative thinking these engineers applied was commendable. And I also saw how a brilliant company like Novel Network, they were the leaders in networking in those days. So they used to work on some real complex application. The entire open office or the office suite we have was originating from open office initially came up with, and that was really designed to make sure that every person using SUSE Linux or Linux operating system would have something comparable to Microsoft Office. So their empathy for the end user was something that I learned. And finally, the obsession for quality is something I picked from Microsoft. So a phenomenal company. They just make sure that every single thing is delivered with their quality systems. And GE taught me, measure what you wish to manage. So truly, if you have to progress, you got to have your metrics in place. So numeracy is a skill that they practice a lot. So we are trying to look at the learning from all these top corporations and train the people in Malaysia. We've been fairly successful in doing this in different geographies. We had a rather very young team similar to the talent we have in Malaysia, who were trained by us and who worked with the largest hospital in the world, HCA, Hospital Corporation of America, building one of the largest ecosystems for US healthcare, which was amazing, processing about 2 billion healthcare transactions, managing hospital claims of a couple of $1 billion annually, integrating with 672 insurance plans, working with 3.8 million lives. Something at this scale was possible because of young minds. Perhaps, had we had slightly more experienced people, we would have heard multiple times why this would be a problem. or why this would be a challenge. Sometimes experience comes in the way of innovation because we pick our fears and sometimes we miss out. These young minds whom we deployed had no experience, which also means they had no fear. And something of this scale was truly possible because of these young minds. So what is the purpose? What are we trying to achieve in Beyond4? We say connecting people to their infinite potential. We truly believe each one of us has infinite potential. There's no finite at all. And once we transcend in our mind our own limitations, then we can truly unlock the power within. And how do we do this? So we want to, in Malaysia, identify 4 types of future talent. There are going to be people who are phenomenal in creating something new. These are people who can think new, innovate, come up with aggressive use of technologies, and solve problems. At the same time, you will have a lot of applications written which have to be sustained, supported, managed, enhanced. We call them as the sustainers. And then we will also have the disruptors. Disruption in technology is very less about technology. It's more about the sense of solving a problem and creating tangible business value. These people can create new markets, new categories, new subcategories. And then we have the humanizers who are looking at applying digital innovation with responsibility. We call it as responsible digital innovation. And we believe that immersive learning is a key. Any skilling program has to be done the hands-on way. It's not so much about technology, it's about people's ability to conceptualize products, understand the requirements, know what's the solution architecture, understand how to write precise requirement specifications, how to prototype applications, how to capture the data rules, the business rules, the UI rules, how to handle non-functional requirements, and a whole lot of things. Any program which blends all this together, makes it immersive, engages the learners and challenges them and makes them solve real problems is bound to succeed. And to finally conclude, truly for innovation or for Malaysia to create great talent, the challenge is not technical. You will very seldom see people getting stuck with a technical issue for beyond a few weeks or a few days or a few hours. The challenge is truly the core competencies needed to excel. So people's ability to understand the problem, people's ability to establish the scope of what has to be done, ability to do deeper examination, analyze, problem-solving skills, presentation skills, and not waiting, being proactive, going there, solving the problem, and being obsessed with quality. That's a very important thing. And result orientation, planning, seeing things ahead, reporting skills, what to report, when to report, how to report is as important as business intelligence. And accountability. Am I part of the team or can I own the results? And then how prepared are we for every work that we do? And collaboration, numeracy. There are a host of things. Of course, technical skills are very critical, but the problem has to be treated holistically. So our effort working with Beyond4 is basically to make sure that we can transform some of this young, bright talent, and working with people here has been great learning for us. They have made phenomenal progress, much beyond what we thought would be possible. They've taught us a lot on how to approach the Malaysian geography, and we're very happy to be a part of Beyond4. So thank you all for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.